Hey dreamers, welcome to season 2 of Not So Average with Shon Wilson. If you are brand new to the podcast and to me, welcome. If you are returning, welcome and thank you. I'm so glad to have you back. For those of you who watched the first season, you heard me say in episode 10 that I was taking a 3-week break, and I am so grateful that you gave me the space to do that. I needed it. I didn't realize until I did that 10th episode how tired I was. So now I'm back with brand new things to help you pursue your dreams, reach your goal, whatever way it is more comfortable for you to say it, it's all the same thing. With season 2, we are going to be focusing on games, shares, exercises, quizzes, activities. It's going to be like summer camp in a podcast form for grown-ups. I mean, that's my goal. You can help me get there by letting me know in the comments what things you are really finding value in and what things you would like to see more of. Or, you know what, you can even tell me the things that just aren't working for you. And hopefully I'll be able to create the kind of content that is going to inspire and encourage you to pursue your dreams. Now, for this first episode of my second season, I'm going to be answering your questions. Now, when I say your, I'm using like the royal your, meaning these questions didn't specifically come from listeners or viewers of my podcast. So what I have done is I've gone to YouTube channels similar to mine that are watched by my viewers as well. One of the cool things about the fact that I release this podcast on YouTube as well as on traditional podcast platforms is that YouTube lets me know what other channels you guys are subscribed to. So I went to some of those channels. They are larger than mine. And because they are so big, the content creators of those channels oftentimes don't get around to answering some of their viewer questions. This is completely understandable. If they are anything like me, they are burning the candle at both ends as it is, trying to get this content out for everybody. And so if they're a larger channel, they're getting a ton more comments, right? A ton of comments, a ton of questions. And most of the channels that I've seen that are similar to mine that you guys like are answering, let's say maybe the first 5 to 10 questions, and then they're not able to respond anymore, or they don't have an answer, or, maybe their kid just needs dinner. Who knows? So what I've done is I've gone to several of these channels that are similar to mine, and I have found questions that have gone unanswered. I specifically looked for ones that were recurring on various channels or by various people on the same video of a specific channel, because that said to me, this is something people really want to know about. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to answer 3 of those questions for you guys. If you have further questions or you're inspired to ask a different question based on what I say today, put it in the comments, let me know, or you can always shoot me an email. I've said it before, I'll say it again. My email address is live@notsoaveragedreamer.com. I answer that myself. So if you reach out to me, you're going to hear from me directly. You can also, like I said, put in the comments of whatever platform you use to listen to or to watch Not So Average. And I am going to answer your question for you if I can. If I can't, I'm going to try to find information to direct you to where you can find that answer. And sometimes I'll even be inspired to make a video based on the question you have. If you have something you want to add to what I say, definitely put that in the comment section as well, because other people can benefit from your knowledge. In the meantime, let's get started. Hey guys, it's Shon. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. So, when we're talking about pursuing our dreams or fulfilling our dreams or achieving a goal, reaching a goal, going after a goal, there are many tools that we can use to do this. Some are more analytical. Some people will use the term practical for these, and it's things like making to-do lists, attending networking events, things like that. But some of the tools that we can use to help us fulfill our dreams are shifts that we need to make as people. These have to do with mindset, behavioral patterns. Some of it is eradicating limiting beliefs. Some of it is adopting new beliefs. 2 of those tools that are very helpful for many people, regardless if you consider yourself to be left-brained or right-brained. Left brain being the more analytical type, grounded, practical, right brain being the more creative type, energy focused, spiritual maybe. Not that analytical people can't be spiritual. We all should ideally have some of both, right? But there's a place where we each find ourselves more comfortable. And two of the tools that fall on the side of the right brain are visualization and acting as if. Visualization is where you use your imagination to put yourself where you want to be, or imagine that you have the thing you want. See, there are three kinds of dreams. There's the dream of being something, the dream of doing something, and the dream of having something. And we're going to talk more about that later in this season. But for right now, just know that visualization is using your creative imagination, using your mind, your third eye. Some people talk about the third eye, to see yourself with that circumstance that you are hoping to achieve. Now, so the first question that I'm going to address for today it's in the realm of visualization. And it is, how long does it take to see results? Some videos make it sound like it can happen in minutes. I've been doing this every day for 2 months straight and not seeing anything yet. I have an amazing imagination. I'm an artist. Growing up, my parents always said I have an overactive imagination. Not sure what to do to see results. Now, you guys can't see what I'm looking at here, or maybe I'll find a way to put it up. I don't know. We'll figure that out in a second. But the person who asked this question has a ton of question marks in their question, and not just, one question mark at the end of a specific question, but they have some questions that have like 3 and 4 question marks behind them. There is urgency in this person. They are feeling desperate. They are scared. They think that this won't work for them. So that's a self-worth issue. That's when we see other people getting something that we want, or getting what they want, even if it's not the same thing we want, but life doesn't seem to be providing us with what we want, and we get scared and we get desperate. And that typically happens when we struggle with feelings of self-worth. Now, I am not a psychoanalyst or a psychotherapist or a psycho anything. I hope I'm not a psycho anything. So I'm not really going to talk that much about the self-worth piece of this today. But what I am going to do is talk about how quickly or how long it may take to get your results when you're using the tool of visualization, because that's the core of this person's question. And the answer to that is, it depends. It really depends. See, we are all different. Everybody is at a different place in their life, a different place in their journey as a human, as well as towards that journey going towards the goal or dream that they're trying to achieve or pursue. So life is really smart. And I hate saying that because it makes it sound like, oh, I'm so enlightened and I've got all this pithy, insight into how life works. I don't know how life works. And that's why I can say life is really smart, because it does things that I don't understand in my own life. And it does things that I don't like. But what I have seen in my own experience is there are times where there is something that I am clearly right for, clearly qualified for, clearly able to do, and my desire is clear, and my ability to visualize is also very clear, like the person who asked this question, because I am an artist, I'm an actress, and so I'm very used to using my imagination, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. And when that's the case, I have found after the fact, I have realized that it's because life was taking its time to prepare me to be ready to receive the thing that I was asking for. So we may think we're ready, but there may be some changes that need to happen inside of us, that we need to go through certain experiences, certain circumstances first before we are actually ready to receive that dream. Another time I've experienced delays personally has been times where life has provided me time to determine whether or not that's really something that I want for myself. Because in the amount of time it takes for me to get it, when I'm smart, which isn't all the time, but when I'm smart, I learn more about that thing I'm trying to do. I research it more. And in the learning and researching about it, sometimes I find it's not really what I want. What I really wanted was something adjacent to it, or what I really wanted was the feeling or some similar circumstances that getting that initial dream that I thought I was after would give me. So sometimes the delay, I feel like the delay is always for our benefit, and sometimes it is frustrating as fuck, and it's not at all what we want for ourselves. And if you struggle with self-worth at all, it can feel like you don't matter, and it can feel like you're just not going to get what you want. But the reality is you are oftentimes seeing a delay because life is either preparing you to receive the thing you want, or life is giving you a chance to choose to have something other than the thing that you think you want. So how long it takes is going to vary from person to person. It's super important not to compare your journey to someone else's journey. And I can tell you for a fact, as someone living in Hollywood, that is sometimes hard to do, because I can see my friends booking while it's a slow period for me. And it can feel like, oh man, this is just not going to happen for me. And then the next thing you know, I'm the one posting on Instagram all the time about my bookings, right? So how long it takes, there's no clear-cut answer for that. Just be patient. Tend to yourself, learn as much as you can, and prepare to be ready to receive it when it comes. If it is something that's skills-based, get those skills sharp so when that opportunity comes, you are ready to go, and there is no question. It is there for you. It is yours. All right? The second shifting tool that we can use when we are pursuing our dreams is acting as if. Visualization is the using your imagination part, right? But acting as if is when you start taking practical steps along with the visualization to help you get closer to that dream or goal that you have. So the question that I found to address that is, what's the difference between assumption and attraction? Now, this person is asking about really the difference between the law of assumption and the law of attraction. And again, if you're a person who is, you're into the energetics of things and you like the woo-woo stuff, there's so much content on YouTube, on Google. You might even have friends that do LOA, that's law of attraction, Instagram accounts, whatever, where you can find out more technical answers than what I'm about to give, because I'm not a law of attraction specialist, okay? Or a guru of any sort at all. So law of attraction. Some people think of it as you want something, you visualize it, you feel in your body, you feel the feelings of what it would be like to have that thing that you want, and then it comes to you because you focused on it and you believed. And it makes it sound like we as humans are like this giant magnet, and anything we want just comes right to us, and that's law of attraction. There are some slight truths in that, but it's really not as simple or as cartoony as that makes it sound. So law of assumption, on the other hand, has an element of law of attraction to it, but it's a practice or a tool where you actually have more say in your experience. And this is what I mean. With law of attraction, we cannot guarantee that just by believing in something, it's going to come to us. And though we are electromagnetic in our nature, our brain is electromagnetic. We're not a giant magnet, and the things that we want out there are not like steel just waiting to suck to us, right? But with law of assumption, or with the practice of assumption, if you don't like talking about laws for whatever reason, the practice of assumption is when you go, okay, here's this thing that I want, and I'm going to start acting as if. I'm going to start doing the things that I would do if I knew for a fact I was going to get or already had that thing that I want. So you are in a place of assuming it to be true for you. So let me give you a practical example for that. If your dream is to own a home, say you're in a super expensive city like the one I live in, where almost everybody is an apartment dweller, but what you really want is a house for yourself. You want a house, you want to own a home. If that is your dream, if you started assuming that this was possible for you, then you would start thinking about steps you could take now, even though you don't have it yet, as though you did have it. And in taking those steps, you're actually starting to lay the groundwork for getting that thing that you want. Let me give you an example. Or let me be more specific in this example. So if it's a house, you want to have a house, what you can start doing is saving towards that house, right? even if you don't have a lot of money, what you can do is start a savings account or some kind of a fund that you name specifically. Like if it was me, I could name it Shon's Dream Home. So let's say I went to Wells Fargo and I opened up a brand new savings account just for saving towards my home, and I call it Shon's Dream Home. And I start putting money into that account specifically for that. It can be as little or as much as I can afford on any given week. But I'm always saving up in that account specifically and only for the house that I assume I'm going to be able to buy. So this money is helping me not with the cost of the whole house, you're not trying to get $300,000. You are, or in the case of Los Angeles, $2 million. But what you are doing is you are beginning to save up the down payment that you're going to need to buy the house that you assume you are going to get. Another thing that you can do to help with this particular example of home buying, if you're assuming that it's possible for you, is go ahead and start doing research about the place where you would like to live. If it's a different city, if you think you want to own a home, but you don't want to own a home in the city where you live, go ahead and use Google, man. Google is your friend. Start finding out start finding out more about the place where you want to live. Start researching how much it costs to live there, not just the cost of the home, but start prepping yourself mentally for what it is going to be like for you when you live there. You can also, if it's a neighborhood or an area of the town, an area of town in the city that you already live in, then go and visit that area. Find your coffee spot in that area and start having coffee there once a week. Find your bookstore in that area, if bookstores even still exist. Sorry, my nose is itching. That's beautiful. So where would you do your grocery shopping? Once a week, go ahead and start making that neighborhood your neighborhood, and on the assumption that you are going to live there someday. And then the third example of what you could do again in this home buying situation, or this home buying example, is go ahead and start meeting with realtors. Go ahead and start talking to realtors. They don't need to know that you're not ready to buy yet. You don't need to disclose it. This is going to help you twofold. One, if you feel like you need to tell them, then on some level, you feel like you need to block your ability to get this home. You're going to tell them with the assumption that they are going to say they don't want to waste their time with you, or they're going to treat you badly. And that's a good way for you to put the kibosh on trying to get this thing that you want. So don't even tell them. Go ahead and act as if you are in the market for a home now. And you know why you have the right to do that? Because you are in the market for a home now, even if you're not ready to buy it yet. So start making appointments with realtors. Let them find homes that fit the specs that you think would work for your first home. Because it is important to be realistic for you. And what I mean by realistic for you is, what is your brain able to believe? What will your brain, your spirit, your heart accept as being possible for you as you dream beyond what you already know to be possible for you? So don't go and make appointments with a realtor for your dream home, like a McMansion, right? But your first home, if it's your first home, or your next home, if it's, the next step in your home owning progression. And let that person take you on tours of these places and take it in and really imagine yourself living there and think about what it would be. And, let them know if you feel like you need more time to think about it. And that'll just make them look for more stuff for you. Some people have a nasty attitude and they'll be like, oh, she's just a looky-loo, and whatever. You can't control how other people respond to you. And also there's a ton of realtors out there. But that is another way in which you could assume that you're getting the thing that you want and go ahead and start taking steps towards that without having to already be able to make it happen for yourself. So the difference between the law of attraction and the law of assumption is, for a lot of people, the law of attraction is just believing and feeling. But with law of assumption, you add that extra step of doing things as though you know that you know that you know that you know this thing is for you, and it is a part of what your life is going to be in the future. All right, y'all. So the third question that I'm going to answer is actually composed of like 4 different questions that I found. So, quick backstory. People are very, 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 very obsessed with finding the love of their life. And that is understandable because as humans, we have a great need for love. And for a lot of us, we have, at least, people that I know, a lot of us, we're like, how do I meet the person of my dreams? I could do a whole video on just the verbiage of person of your dreams, but I won't. Just let my face speak for itself, or my tone of voice speak for itself right now. It's a person, right? So this person is just a person. But a lot of people are looking for guidance on how to meet and connect with someone that they can love and who will love them back. And like I said before, this is perfectly understandable. Some people seek this information out from psychologists or psychoanalysts. Some people seek this information out from relationship experts or psychics or manifestation teachers, But it is for many of us a dream to meet the person that we are, quote, supposed to be with. Our dream come true, that person would be. So we think. But again, I caution you, they're just a person. So, if meeting someone is your dream, though, that is very valid. If being in a relationship that serves you and you serve it well, that has good love, is your dream, that's a valid dream. So I say all of that to say there's a ton of content out there about meeting your twin flame or soulmate or specific person. And then there's also getting the ex back. That's a big one, getting my ex back. And then there are some people who their dream also has to do with another human being, but it's not necessarily about love or romance, but just say, for instance, parents wanting to help their children with their lives. So I'm going to read you really quickly these 4 questions that I found that all go into what I'm going to call, the topic I'm going to call, other people's dreams and other people in your dreams, or other people as your dream would actually probably be better, right? So the first question says, can I manifest for my son? The second question says, can I also use this to manifest for someone else? The third question is, my ex says it's over. Can my dream be to get him back? And then the final one for right now is, how do I manifest my specific person? So I want to talk about the importance of free will in pursuing one's dreams. A lot of us haven't pursued our dreams because we didn't feel like we have the right to do it. We didn't understand that we have free will and we can do whatever we want. Some of us don't pursue our dreams because we don't know what the right dream to do is. I did a video on this in season 1 called Right Track. I don't know if you're on the right track. And I talked in that video about the fact that you get to decide that. But too often we believe that there is some predetermined right track out there for us and we got to pick the right one. So you have free will. You have free will to dream your dream. And this means other people have their free will to dream theirs as well. And when we start trying to pursue a dream for someone else or manifest someone else, we are essentially trying to take away their free will. I want to start with the romantic side. When we are trying to manifest or making our dream finding a specific person. Now, here's where this is okay. You can have a specific person that you like and you want to ask them out and you ask them out. And if they say no, you have to honor that. Okay, that's where specific person can come into play. But if you have already done that and that person said no, you don't, in my opinion, have the right to then try to make them your person. They have free will. And also, you don't really want that. Because let's imagine for a second that you had the ability to force someone to be in your life in that way. You will never feel secure in that relationship. You will never feel certain that that person was there for the right reasons. You will never feel like they were there because they wanted to be, because you will always know that you made them be there. So the same insecurity that makes someone feel like they need to manifest a specific person or make getting into a relationship with a specific person their dream, that same insecurity will be there inside of you once you have met that person. And if it turns out y'all are in a relationship together, that same insecurity will live inside of you and you will never feel secure. You want someone to come to you of their own free will, their own volition. You want it to be that they want to be with you as much as you want to be with them, or at least, let's say 40-60, right? Ideally 50-50, but you don't want it to be that you did all the things and you were doing the most. I love that phrase, to make that person be there in your life. So my answer to whether or not you can make a specific person your dream or you can manifest a specific person, my answer to that is going to be no. I don't think you should do that. And not just because you are interfering with their choices, if you even have the ability to do that, but because you're not going to get the fulfillment from that relationship that you think it's going to give you. Now I want to address the part that's about like if it's your parent, if you're a parent and it's your child, or it could even be that, you're a daughter and your mom's been single forever because she never got over your dad and you feel like she needs to get with somebody and you want to try to create a dream for her. And it doesn't have to be around romance. It could also be that, you want your friend or your parent or your child to find the right job for them or whatever. Again, this idea of thinking you know what's best for someone else. Come on, y'all. Come on. Most of us barely know what's best for us. So my advice in that case is no, leave that alone. So basically, for this whole thing about other people and dreams, my answer is no. My answer more fully is focus on yourself. When you focus on yourself, you are an inspiration to others. So if it's a situation where it's a family member or a friend and you want them to start doing more for their lives, you make the most of your life. You do the most for you. You manifest your greatest good, or you pursue your dream, or however you achieve your goal, however you want to talk about it. You do your thing and you let the light of that shine out of you from within. And the people in your life will see that. And if it's a situation where you have children and the children are seeing you do that, whether that child is a kid or the child is a full-grown adult, your offspring are going to see what you're doing and they are going to be inspired and they are going to learn from you. And that is going to help them do it for themselves. It will teach them steps to take and actions to take and things to do and things not to do. It will teach them ways of thinking, belief systems. You will be an inspiration to them by focusing on you. When you are in a place that you are writing a comment on a YouTube video or a podcast, audio, and you're focused on trying to make someone else's life something, you ain't paying enough attention to yourself. Because being on YouTube can't be your dream. So focus on you. Focus on doing what's best for you. Focus on finding your joy, your happiness, your path. And when you do that, other people will be inspired to do the same. Shoot, that's the whole reason, the whole thing behind this podcast for me. It's like if I share with people what it's like for me pursuing my dream, that might inspire them to pursue their dream. Yeah. Come on, man. Exercise your free will to focus on you, do the thing that you really want for yourself, and then let other people have the free will to focus on themselves and do what they want for themselves, and hopefully we'll all be happy. That's what I got for you today. Okay, so wrapping up really quickly, I just want to remind you that you are always, always welcome to reach out to me directly. I will respond to you myself. I do want to let you guys know that it is episodic season here in LA, so my time is not the same as it was before. Because of that, I will not be pumping out an episode per week, a full episode per week like I did over the summer, because I just don't have the same time and availability. What I will do though is make sure to give you guys one every other week. And then in between, I will provide you with shorts to help inspire you and keep you encouraged between full episodes. In the meantime, have a wonderful 2 weeks. enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. Let me know if there's something you want to see or hear. And yeah, that's what I got. It's really noisy over there. Can y'all hear that? I hope you can't hear that. I hate my neighbors. My dream is to not have these neighbors. Blah! Bye. Aren't my theme songs fun? I found them at Purple Planet Music. You can find music for your projects there too. Just go to purple-planet.com.